Good evening, everyone. My name is Dharmesh Verma, and today's topic is on Marico Limited. Marico Limited is one of the India's leading FMCG companies, providing a consumer goods in the area of health, beauty, and wellness. Its headquarters is located in Mumbai, and it's currently in 25 countries of Asia and Africa. Right, Mr. Harish Mariwala founded this company in 1990, and right now the company is led by Mr. Saugata Gupta as MD and CEO of the company. It offers multiple brands under the categories of hair and skin care, edible oil, healthy food, and also in the male grooming. Products like parachute oil, Saffola edible oil, cosmetic creams which is offered by Levon. Recently, the company forayed into the sanitizer market for the first time under the Medicare brand. And company's main most products are under the various brands such as Parachute, Saffola, Medicare, and Levon. Due to COVID-19, the industry has seen around 350% rise in the demand of sanitizers, which tells that the company has a very large room for the to capture the market share. And fourthly, company has introduced Saffola store on the food delivery platform and also tied up with the Swiggy and Zomato to deliver their essential goods. Coming on to the industry updates, FMCG is the fourth largest sector in India in the Indian economy. Revenue of this sector reached at US 52 billion in financial year 2018, and it is estimated to reach US 103 dollar billion in financial year 2020. The three main segment of this sector are the 50% of which comprises of the households and personal care, 31% of the sector which is comprises by the healthcare, and 19% of the food and the beverages. Due to the COVID-19, a report by Nelson is that the 86% of the industry anticipates that supply chain and mobility hurdles to continue in the next 6 months. This is a very negative sign for the companies as the supply chain plays a very vital role in delivering of the goods into the different geographical locations. Coming on to the QGLP part, quality of business and management. Company is dominant leader in coconut oil with a share of 60% and the super premium refined edible oil in consumer packs of 75% under the brands of the Saffola. These are the core products of the company where they generate a maximum revenue from it. Like in from the coconut oil, they're able to generate the Indian revenue, which is around 46 percentage, whereas Saffola is able to generate of 20 percentage. Moreover, the interesting fact is that one out of 10 coconuts in India are used by the Marico company. Second point is the stable business opportunity, less impact of COVID-19 as Marico tops products are essential ones and may not see a decline in the long run. According to the recent report by the company, there is a single digit decline in the sales of product because the top products are essential ones, and in long run sales will get stabilized. The third point is sustainability is critical to business. It ensures to deliver natural and sustainable product to society and the end users. As This is a very positive point of the company, as companies able to achieve the 25% reduction in energy intensity from 2013 baseline, and also 73% of the total energy source is in operation is from the renewable energy. And moreover, company has also achieved 56 percentage reduction in the greenhouse emission from base year 2013. So which this tells that company is really caring for the society, and they are able to reduce the greenhouse gases. The next point is the management sound corporate governance and growth mindset, as company has declared a good dividend payout at the at 75 percentage. Yes, 75 percentage. Coming on to the growth in earnings. Oh, Marico has commenced its commercial production at a new plant at Sansad, Gujarat for manufacturing of personal care products. This will help the company to generate more revenue and able to cover the market share. As right now, the company is able to reach the 5 million outlets out of 10.1 million outlets. So there is a huge scope for the company to cover their market, to capture their market share. And according to the Nielsen report, in the last 5 year, company has increased their growth for like around 2 lakh 20 outlets over 5 years. Operating Second point is the operating in emerging economies like in like India, Bangladesh, Egypt, Vietnam, Middle East, and South Africa for the better growth opportunity. As the international business give around 22 percentage of the revenue, out of which Bangladesh provides the 46% of the international revenue, which is a so so Bangladesh provides a huge revenue from the international economies, and there's also a huge growth in Bangladesh country to cover their wider market capitalize market share. So sales revenue CAGR reported to be 11 percentage, and the EBITDA at 14 percentage from 2012 to 19. So there has been a growth in both in sales and EBITDA. So due to COVID, so companies expecting a slow growth owing to the disruption in the supply chain and less spending in the personal care and the grooming, as the company's main product are Saffola edible oil and the coconut oil. Coming on to the longevity part. So significant investment in the new products and the businesses leading to new products performing well, a competitive advantage. As FMC, as to survive in the FMCG industry, there's a tough competition. So company has to put a significant investment in the new products and acquire the new brands to sustain in the market. As the Mario company in the past 12 years, company has acquired 12 brands. So Marico has been innovating in the fields of product formulation, packaging, distribution, and is continuously focusing on the values to tackle the competition in FMCG. The drive sales through the There is a drive sales through the e-commerce, like Marico introduced its first digital brand in the skin and the hair care, that is Setwet X Studio. This is a premium male grooming range which has extended to the modern trade after getting a good response. Moreover, the company is also leveraging the digital technologies that enables the automation for resources allocation, and which enhance their sales. In terms of distribution, distribution and packaging, the company has deployed robotic process automation across various functions and fields like finance, procurement, human resource improvement of efficiencies and for the more accuracy. And the company has also made an investment in the R&D for around 34 crore. The company has also launched the Saffola Fit Tiff Gourmet Coca-Cola, and second product is like Coca-Cola Soul, Coco Soul, uh, products like Advanced Parachute Oil Cream. So company in terms of digitalization, the company has also launched the Youth Analyzer, Kaya Youth Analyzer. Actually, the Kaya this is a skin analyzer tool which is leveraged by AI machine learning the capabilities to analyze the skin on parameters like dark circles, dark spot, um, unclear skin dullness. Basically, it tells about the oxygen level of the skin. So there is thirdly, there is a strategic investment of 22.5 percentage in RevoFit to increase its penetration in the adjacent segment as company wants to diversify their portfolio. Like their main, apart from the main product, they all wanted to diversify their portfolio into the segment like skincare, healthcare, and wellness too. Um, Company has also took the existing distribution engagement through e-learning module, which covers the distribution operation management for more efficiency in the uh, distribution part, which is mainly done by the distributors. And the company has acquired 45% stake in the Beardo of Z Lifestyle. Moving to the as I told you before, like company has made up many has uh, many took many brands under there. Like in 2012, the company has took Saffola Breakfast Aqua in 2012. Sorry, in 2010, this company has launched Saffola Breakfast. In 2012, the company has acquired Livon and Setwet brand. In 2013, they have launched a Kaya Skincare. So there has been many acquisition and launching of the product so as to be in the market. So coming on to the price part, the right now the PE of the company is 36 times in financial year 19, which is defendable considering the rising earning, stable return of equity, and near zero debt. This is a very good time to if anyone wants to like if for it is a very good time for the investors as right now the P of the industry is around 60 times and the right now Marico's P is around 36 times. So in the near future the company valuation will be rising. So it's a good time to invest in this company. The payout has been secondly the payout has been increasing over the years with the higher cash generation. And third, the EPS has increased by 14 percentage on year basis from 6.3 to 7.2. And moreover, the company with the growing cost year on year basis on the long term, which is not a good sign. And recently, the mutual funds has decreased their shareholding last quarter. But what on the other hand, if we see there's a positive point for the companies that there's a rising net cash flow and the cash from operations, which tells the company is doing good. And moreover, the companies is offering a 75% of the dividend payout ratio. It and it is said that it will be stable if they are not making any future strategic huge investments. And companies operating efficiency is also good, which is around 41 percentage of ROCE. So these are some positives and the negative points of the company in terms of the price part. So the next part of valuation would be carried on by the Ankur Vyas.
Coming to the second part of the presentation, talking about the revenue of the company and EBITDA margins, as we can see that the revenue they have been increasing consistently, and as we can see the company has been able to maintain its EBITDA margins at an elevated level. The EBITDA margins have been more or less consistent. This speaks a lot about how company is able to maintain its business. Their operational efficiency is very good. Talking about the dividend payout ratio of the company, the dividend payout has been consistently increasing over the years. Company management goes ahead and states that they will keep the dividend at this level unless and until they get a inorganic growth opportunity. Talking about the financial summary of the company, as we can see that the revenue has been growing over the years, but we are going to expect a dip in the revenue in FY20 because of the March month of the last quarter, because of the lockdown. EBITDA margins they have been very healthy and consistent. speaks, as I mentioned earlier, speaks a lot about the company's way of conducting business. PAT, we are going to see a certain dip in FY20. ROE has been very good and consistently high. Now, this speaks of the acceleration in the wealth generation. Company has been able to generate a lot of wealth for its shareholders. The company has been trading at a good valuation and expecting a PE of 32 in FY20 can show us a good amount of CAGR growth in the stock price. The company's debt to equity ratio has been very low and company has been able to maintain its debt properly. Looking at the cash flow from operation, the cash flow from operation has been increasing. A very healthy sign for a company. Now the revenue mix is very healthy. It is maximum coming from hair oils, but they are able to generate revenue from maximum of their product which they have available. The company has been able to maintain its operating margins, and company had a very stable asset turnover ratio, which again speaks how beautifully they are able to turn over their assets. They are able to utilize their assets the way they want to. Coming to the peer comparison, talking about very close peers of the company. Of course, the company is much lesser in terms of market capitalization when it is being compared to Dabur, HUL, and Colgate. But if we see, the sales growth has been 7% as CAGR in last 3 years, very much comparable with other companies. The ROE is again not as high as HUL, but the company has been able to have a better ROE, and the operating margins of the company have been also good. What stood about this company is the valuation at which it is currently trading. So company is more or less in line with its peers, but the valuation of the company gives the investors an entry point. Talking about the risk and concern which company faces. Now, adequate availability of key raw material prices at the right price. Looking at the current scenario, the company may have a higher cost of raw material because of the disruption in their supply chains. The company may see a cost increase in raw material, which may in turn impact their profitability. The increasing competitive pressure from all segments of the industry, the increasing market share and consumer base is a continuing challenge. Now, it will be interesting to see that how company will be able to compete with its peers in coming time, how they will be able to hold their market share, and how they will continue to keep doing it year on year. The company has started diving into new areas. Now, the new areas which company would start operating in would carry its own business risk. Company started with hand sanitizer during this COVID-19 period, but as we know that venturing into a new area always come with its own risk. We have to see how company does about it. Now, company is operating in many countries, almost 26 countries, and since revenue is coming from these many countries, there's always an exchange rate risk which is available. Coming to the conclusion of the company. Now, the business, due to its very nature, is going to be least affected by the online slowdown. Of course, there is going to be an impact because of the disruption in supply chain, but these are the products which consumers will not stop using. So the sector is not going to be affected as much as automobile or some other sector or cement sector or real estate sector for that matter. And when the recovery will happen, this sector is going to be the first one which will recover very fast. The company is going to benefit from lower packaging cost because of the ongoing crude cost decline. Now, the packing cost is again a big part of its expenses. The crude oil has been on a decline from last 2-3 months, and it would help company to take care of their expenses, and that would in turn reflect in the profitability of the company. Company is trying to accelerate unbranded to branded shift. Company is trying to see to it that customers who are using unbranded products shift to the branded category. Now, this will happen from the way company advertise its products. Plus, it would happen as the discretionary spending of customers will increase owing to the higher per capita income. Looking at all this fact and looking at the looking at the management of the company, the way they have been conducting their business over the years, and the way they have targeted certain segments of the market, the way they have been able to capture it, the way they have been able to perform year on year, the way they have been able to maintain their ROA, and the way they have maintained their debt mix, it seems that company is not going to run into a problem of its own. Looking at the current valuation of the company, it seems to be a very good bet. So we have a buy on this company, and it is a great investment opportunity at this point of time. That is it from our end on this presentation. Thank you. If you have liked the presentation, please like and subscribe our page. We'll continue updating more and more stocks every week. Thank you.